Let's go ahead and break down Module 9. Learning objectives are fairly straightforward. You'll be able to, well, really summarize what we've been learning this whole semester. If you are familiar with Southern New Hampshire, and you should be by this point in time, you will recognize that Module 9 is really when we complete the final assignment. When we go to the module overview, please note this line right here. Your plan will change as you and your career evolve. As you write and work on the assignment for this particular module, understand you are looking at that information based on this moment in time. That does not mean that you cannot deviate from that in the future, because you more than likely will. Some of my students said, well, what's the point of even having that if we know it's going to change in the future? My response is simple. That's like saying, why do we have to write a first draft if we're just going to revise it? Think about that. Moving on to the module at a glance, you will submit your final project, which is what we will talk about for the majority of this video. For the final project, let's go ahead and break it down. When you click here on the final project guidelines, let's take a look at it. Now, when you first look at this, it can seem a little intimidating. Okay, so let's make sure that it's not intimidating. Let's just kind of break it down. This top part up here is just the why you are doing this project. Okay, this video is more about the what to do. What you're going to do is that you are going to submit 3 parts into one document, combine 3 parts into one document of things that we have been working on this whole semester. Part 1 is your philosophy of coaching and mentoring. Part 2 is a cover letter or promotional material. And Part 3 is your career plan in editing and coaching. Now, some of you have already figured out, wait a minute, those look really familiar. That's because you've already done them. This is the assignment we did for Module 3 and your peers reviewed in Module 4. This is what we did in Module 5, the cover letter and promotional material, and your peers reviewed in Module 6. The career plan in editing and coaching is what we did in Module 7, and your peers reviewed it in Module 8. So some of you are thinking, wow, I did great in all 3 of these areas, so I'm just going to copy and paste these things into one gigantic document and it will be done. The answer to that is no. You can't just do that, and I'll explain. But first of all, understand it says that these should be, as far as the page length, it says 2 to 3 pages, 1 to 2 pages, 8 to 10 pages. No, do not worry about the page length. I'm focused more on that you actually covered the material based on the rubric you will see ahead. So don't get hung up on the page length. Please do not get hung up on the page length. That's not what matters here. What matters here is that you are actually answering the points on the rubric. Now, again, if you are familiar with Southern New Hampshire, and again, as I said before, you should be, recognize that the rubrics for the assignments we have been doing up to this point in time have been pretty liberal. As long as you addressed it and gave some sort of backup, addressed the prompt and gave it some sort of evidence or a reasoning behind it, you would get evidence. Okay. When you look at the rubric for the final, you have different degrees. In the past, we basically had yes, you did it, you sort of did it, or you didn't do it. For the final, there is agree with distinction, agree with reservation, disagree, and not evident. What most of you have done has fallen under the agree statement. That's where you do this. So if you earned full points on everything and you just copied and pasted everything, you would most likely earn an agree, with maybe a few agree with distinctions if you didn't change the things that you need to change. How do you get agree with distinction? It's very simple. You need to give a very complete answer. Make sure that we are abundantly clear that you are addressing the prompt, and you back it up with at least one piece of evidence or one example, if not more. It's not just enough to say my philosophy is that everyone should be nice. That would get you an agree with reservation. You need to say everyone should be nice because people respond better to nice situations. That might get you an agree. Agree with distinction would be everyone needs to be nice because people respond better to positive feedback. For example, and then you would give an example that would earn you an agree with distinction. Disagree would be my pedagogical philosophy on coaching and mentoring is that Subway is a great place to eat for lunch. That does not answer the prompt. That would get you a disagree. Not evident means that you didn't even answer it at all. That is what I am looking for throughout the whole entire situation. That in each of these elements, you are abundantly clear in your response that you are addressing these prompts and you are doing so with evidence to back it up. That explains how that will work. Okay. This is worth a lot of points. This is worth 40% of your overall grade. So please take the time and effort to get that done. And then last but not least, we will be talking about Module 10 next week. So there you go.